Hey everyone, welcome back to Major Arcana Month with me, the Mermaid Mystic. We continue our learning adventure today with the sun. So, as you know, grab your note-taking material and we'll dive right in. So what we see here is we've got a child sitting on a white horse. The child has a flower crown and a red feather. We see sunflowers in the background, a sun shining, and a red banner. What does it all mean? So we have a child on the horse because the child represents the most authentic expression of who we really are. There's a sense of a return and a remembering of who you were before the world told you who to be. So you are living in a way that is more authentic. And with that comes clarity, confidence, and joy. So we are experiencing clarity, confidence, and joy when the sun comes up. The white horse is a symbol of purity, and we've seen the white horse in the death card. We've also seen the child and the red feather in the death card. So if in the death card, this was really, think about it almost as like a descent into the underworld, because we have some heavy hitters after the death card, right? The death card, we face the devil, we face the tower, we go through the illusions of the moon. But now, by this point, you've done a lot of that work. So if the death card is kind of that underworld descent into what we need to release, illusions we need to discover, then the sun here, that white horse, is bringing us up out of the underworld. And we now have a sense of clarity. We've been through a mighty spiritual journey. We have come to a place of like joy, confidence, and authenticity. And the sunflowers in the background represent abundance, they represent confidence, they represent brightness and joy, and the sun is very much in alignment with that as well. The sun represents confidence, authenticity, abundance. So we see a lot of like pretty recurring themes in this imagery, pretty straightforward in a number of ways. And if you think about the sun being the source of all life, think about you being connected with your own inner sun. So if your authenticity is a source of vitality, you have found that in the sun. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're experiencing in this card, there is this sense of connection to your inner light, to who you really are, and it's guiding you well. And so you feel a sense of peace and confidence, but also vitality and abundance. If the sun is the source of life on earth, then the sun is what's making everything grow. And I know that's, of course, like water and air. We need many things, but if we're seeing the sun as the thing that we like absolutely need for growth, the sun in the tarot is a symbol of growth, of vitality, of fertility, abundance, and creativity. So when this card shows up, you might be experiencing all of those or a few of those. You could be experiencing more confidence in your creativity. You could be experiencing more vitality and joy. This could indeed be a period of abundance for you as well. The sun is a card of being seen. We see the sun. So in this card, it is likely that you are more comfortable being seen who you really are. It's also probably more natural for you, once again, and this is accompanied with vitality and joy. The red banner here. So if we remember, we see red in the tarot, it's often a symbol of like life force, empowerment, and passion. And we see that it's flowing, it's very free. This is another sign of energy, of vitality in the sun. So this card is very alive. It's not like up and airy though, it's still quite grounded. And when we see the sun, so we have this idea that the sun is also associated in alchemy with the element gold. So remember in alchemy that it is the art and science of transmuting lead into gold. And there's different types of alchemy. So if we're going to look at this through the lens of spiritual alchemy, which is where we are taking the heaviness in lead, so the illusions or the wounds, and the stories we need to rewrite, we go through the alchemical process to rewrite them. So that's how you're really turning that pain into wisdom, illusions into truth, right? That sense of heaviness or obscuring your vision into lightness, a lightness of spirit and a lightness of clarity. So that's what's happening in the sun, because the sun is the final rung on the ladder of planets that represents the steps of alchemy that we go through. So if there are 7 steps of alchemy, each step corresponds with a planet on the ladder of planets. The sun is the final rung. So it's this idea that now with the sun and gold, we've come full circle, almost. We'll get to that in the world. But we've come to this place where now the heaviness, the lead, everything that we've been talking about, you've gone through it, and now it's gold. And the gold, this is where alchemy, I think, got a bad rap. But in the medieval ages in Europe, there was just this like really intense association with alchemy being like turning literal lead into literal gold. So it was more just about like greed, and there was a lot of pressure on alchemists. There's also pressure on alchemists from the church because it was seen as something that was outside of Christianity and therefore bad. So a lot of alchemical imagery is like really mysterious. Anyways, that's some fun facts. But alchemy is meant to be like an art and a science. And I've even read that alchemy was never considered complete, the alchemical process, unless the alchemists themselves had been transformed through this process. So with spiritual alchemy, we're not literally working with lead or gold. We're working with our spirit. We're working with our emotions, our intuition, our energy, our stories. So in the sun, you have alchemized the heavy into the light and the pain into wisdom. And now you're experiencing all this abundance and clarity and energy and vitality because of it. So there is possible alchemical references here, as there have been throughout a lot of the major arcana cards. So in short, when you pull the sun, it's clarity, it's authenticity, abundance, growth, vitality, confidence, all these wonderful things. You may have been through it because by the time we get to the sun, like I said, you've been through some heavy hitters. You've been through the death card, the tower, the devil, and now it's like the rewards of all the spiritual work, because we can't stay in those areas. We do need to come up. We do need to experience the light and the joy. Okay, my friends, so that is the sun. Stay tuned for the next card, Judgment.